Hello everyone, and welcome back to Bitwig Studio and Music Production. This is lesson 5.87, and in this lesson we're going to take a look at the histograms. So this is a unique feature built into Bitwig Studio that allows for us to apply some randomization to our notes or just additional controls to our notes. It doesn't always have to be randomized, but I think the fun part is the randomization. Not sure how much you guys might use this, but there will be applications where you want to add in some velocity sensitivity, but you may not want to actually manually go in and change every single one. So this is our little piano we have playing. Pretty lame. We could apply some swing or groove to that, but instead let's focus on the histogram. So in order for the histogram to work, if I click on one note right here, we see that I don't get too many options here. I want you to look at this now, and then if I click Command A, we can see we suddenly get all of these little arrows. So the histograms are made accessible to you when you select more than one note. So I've selected all of the notes in this clip. And what we can do first is we could change the velocity sensitivity. If you're curious as to what this does here, this just changes the length of the notes. And so I could pull everything down relative to each other, pull everything back up. We can even go into micro changes, so maybe we'll add a little bit of that there. And if I go into this histogram, it will actually snap everything to this particular note length. So this isn't quantizing, it's just going to change every single one of these notes to an eighth note triplet. So if I did that, we can see like so. But I don't want that. I'm going to keep this as it is. All right, and now we can take a look at all these different histograms. So again, Command A, the first one being velocity. So everything is in here right now at 78.7 on the velocity scale, but I could turn this up or down. But the fun way to really get this to work is to set this to something like 50%. And then I'm going to leave spread at 100%, so it should give us the entire range. Now I'm going to start to add in some chaos. And then we get that great little visual graph showing us exactly sort of what's happening with these various clips. So we can see there's the big spike here, and that corresponds to the big spike there. So we can control this even further if we want. You can see how it's changing these clips. But I like to keep mean somewhere in the middle. We can even increase the spread if we want. But then I need to make sure we can still hear all of our notes, add in a little bit more chaos. And here's what we now have. We can change the release velocity too. At this point, I'm not 100% sure if that really is going to have any effect at all. You would think maybe with aftertouch it would. Not sure if there's going to be more coming with that, but I'm just going to leave that as it is for now since we don't have aftertouch or anything routed to it. I'm just going to turn up the release though on the instrument itself. All right, cool. We also can adjust gain in a similar way. So I could go in here, I could turn everything down on all of my notes. And this is really frustrating. You have to keep going in and clicking play. But I could add chaos to this too. At this point, if I went in and looked at my notes individually, we'd be able to see all of those changes in gain. So if there's one that's really, really crazy, we could go in and turn that particular one down. Like this one got increased by a lot. If you're going to be messing with velocity, there's probably not a whole lot of reason to adjust the gain, but just for the sake of showing it to you, there you go. And if we look at our expression controls, we can see it happening down here as well. Okay, so up next, we're going to have pan. And we can watch how this changes things. So you can see it moving. Sorry, I keep forgetting to click play. We also have pitch as well, so we can turn this on so we can actually see what's happening to the pitch. And we also have our timbre control, so it depends on what we have timbre routed to, but let's go in here, turn on the filter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the timbre to the resonance control. We'll really let it spike if we want. It might get a little out of control, but that's fine. And so I can go back into my clip again. I can select timbre and Command A, all of those notes, go in here. And so just like that, we've just used the histograms there to add in a bit of randomization, as they call it, chaos, to our MIDI patches. Again, you may not use that if you're somebody like me who's a little bit more anal and enjoys going in and getting everything just right. You're not going to maybe mess around with that. But if you're somebody who needs something quick on the go to at least get you started, it's a great kind of like creative kickstart, especially with something like velocity. So if you have a drum pad, or excuse me, if you have a drum loop and it's sounding very lifeless, definitely use the histogram and select everything and start to change those velocities at random. Then you can go back in and fine tune things. I guarantee you, if you do that, you're going to breathe life into your drum loops like that. It's just a great way, so you don't have to start from scratch. In fact, you can actually work your way back. And for a lot of people, that's an easier way of working. So thank you so much for watching, and you will hear from me again in the next lesson. Take care.